Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Social Media News Live. I am so excited that you're here. We've got a great guest. I've been wanting to have him on for a while. I saw him over on my last year on my friends, the Dealcasters, Chris Stone and Jim Fuse over there on their show, and he's amazing. And then I dove into his YouTube channel, and he's got a community. I mean, he has got stuff going on. His branding is on point. He makes me really, really jealous because it's so good. But he is amazing. So I want you guys to make the show all about you. Ask your questions because we have a branding and a live video expert here with us today. So ask your questions, and I'll try to bring up as many as possible because, once again, we want to make this all about you guys. And by the way, I want to let you know that if you don't want to miss any of these great guests we have, you can easily sign up to my newsletter. It's one of the best things that I've been doing, I think, for a while. You can go to jeffc.com/news. We have a email that goes out Tuesday, and then we have the Friday email that tells you about our guest and coming up with the show. So jeffc.com/news. That's spelled JEFF. S is in Sam, IEH. For you guys listening on the podcast, that's how I before E, especially in C. That's how my mom made me learn it when I was a little baby. So very excited to talk about scaling business with live video. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, we've got some people popping in. Some of my friends. Awesome. Gary Stockton saying happy Friday. Good creator community. I love that, Gary. Thank you so much for that. And we've got Exoculate Quilts here. So excited as well. Morning, everyone. It's great to have you here. Thank you guys for watching over on YouTube. I'm going to go and hit go on the podcast machine, and we'll get started. Paul Gowder, the amazing Paul Gowder, is here with us as well today. So this is going to be a lot of fun to do. So here we go. Hello, folks. Welcome to Social Media News Live. I'm Jeff C., and you're not.
And I'm Paul Gowder, and this is the show that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the world of social media and more.
Have you ever wondered how to harness the power of live video to scale your business? Maybe you want to learn the strategies that can take your brand from ordinary to extraordinary. Or maybe you're ready to make your mark with live content that truly resonates with your audience. If you've been thinking about that and it's crossed your mind a little bit, you're in for something special. Because today, we're excited to bring on a guest who has mastered the art of live streaming and brand building. JP Hightek, a global branding and media expert, will be sharing his story, his strategies, and his top tips for using live video to grow your business. So sit back, clear your schedule, clear your mind, and get ready for this week's episode of Social Media News Live. JP, how are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, what's happening, Jeff? Appreciate you having me here. So excited that we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, right? How to build your brand, leveraging live video. I mean, this is so powerful, especially in the world that we live in today. I mean, live video is something else, and I can't wait to dive into it and, just share my expertise, my background, how I got to where I am today, how I'm still leveraging that, to keep growing my company and, closing more deals. And that's what this is all about as content creators, because creator economy is massive, right?
Yeah.
And we're here to learn how to really dive into it and pull our part of it and make money and grow from there. So yeah, excited about today's conversation.
Awesome, JP. Thank you.
Let me introduce JP. He is a global branding and media expert, accomplished Amazon best-selling author, and the president of Reveal TV Networks. He has over 15 years of experience in media, tech, and IT. As the founder of Perfect Zone Productions, a top media and branding agency in Tennessee, JP has redefined personal branding, helping individuals and businesses discover their unique identities. His leadership has been featured in major news outlets like CNN, Bloomberg, and ESPN. JP also leads Content Creators University, which empowers creators to leverage technology and content for business growth, with a mission to help businesses rapidly scale and dominate their industries. Wow, it's impressive, man. I can't wait to talk more about this.
So,
Yes, sir.
I mentioned it at the beginning. JP has this incredible YouTube channel, and his branding really is, folks, spot on. So as soon as this show's over, you want to jump over there and subscribe to his channel because it really is really, really great content. He's got really great guests. one of the things that he does talk about on there, he has a kind of a recent video where he actually showed you how to use Ecamm to go to multiple destinations like Instagram. He's got a great little tutorial on that. And I thought that was a perfect segue because Ecamm is who sponsors the show today. You can find out more about them at ecamm.com/Jeff. If you use the code Jeff15, you'll save 15% on your first purchase. They have a really great new integration with Zoom. So if you're a Zoom user, it's a great way to actually increase what you can do with Zoom. It's actually saved my bacon numerous times. One of the times we had Jody Kringle on, one of our guests, she couldn't for some reason connect. We were able to fire up Zoom and she was able to come on with no problem. So if you're a remote producer or whatever thing like that, make sure you go to ecamm.com/Jeff. And here's a little secret. If you like it, use that code Jeff15 to save that 15% on like the pro yearly plan because it's going to save you a bunch of money. So anyway, thank you for Ecamm for sponsoring the show. So let's dive right into it, JP, because you wrote a book about it. It's an amazing book. Mm-hmm. It's an easy read, and we're going to get into some of that later because you have some great examples in there. But let's talk about the power of live video and how you actually have a background in traditional media and branding, and now you've kind of not pivoted, but used that expertise with your live video. So talk about that motivation for you to kind of pivot from traditional media, start your own company, and focus heavily on live video.
Great question. So my story, if you didn't know that, I started as a regular cinematographer, right? Very, very long time ago. And when I started my company, Perfect Zoom Productions, I was offering people cinematography. At that time, I was working on small movie sets in Texas, Dallas, Texas specifically. Mm-hmm. And so everywhere I would go, right, customers will be asking me, hey, do you do graphic design? Do you do web design? Do you do photography and all those additional things? And of course, back then being a one-man band, right, I'll tell them, yeah, absolutely, we do that, right? But I didn't really do it. But I was the type of person that will love to offer the best that I can offer to my customers. Mm-hmm. And so I went back, learned 2 classes, learned how to do coding, Python specifically, and started offering software development, mobile application development, all that to customers. Went back, learned how to do photography, started offering that, and expanding the offerings and the limitations of my company. Now, while I was doing all of that, I was still in college, right? University of Texas, Arlington, and my focus was to maximize and make as much money as an entrepreneur, right, mm-hmm. that I could as I was working, running my small business and going to college. So I decided to dive into YouTube. Now, if you know my story, you knew I grew one YouTube channel all the way to 126,000 subscribers, and right. YouTube accidentally deleted my YouTube channel. If you follow me, go to my YouTube channel, check out my story there. They sent me emails, apologizing and all that, said, hey, I did it. I'm still waiting on that, right? But that taught me a major lesson. Is you need to own your content. You got to own it. And you need to understand the rules of engagement when it comes down to building your brand, because you will lose it all, right? That time I was really relying on YouTube, really relying on social media, other platform, but I forgot one aspect. They could remove and kill my business anytime they see fit. So I went and read the terms of service, and they said, even if you did not violate anything, and they believe they needed to take you down, they did not have to explain themselves to you. Well, every single content creator that's on YouTube abide by that. What? Think about that for a second.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so the whole thing was gone. And so I decided, you know what? Time to change things a little bit. Times to come back, right? So I took a year off, focused on my business, grew my business and all that. I didn't even know I was going to come back. And this time when I came back completely differently. One, I understood what I was getting myself into. 2, I knew that I had to just leverage this platform, redirect the conversation to something that I own so that I can expand and grow my business. And even if anything were to happen to my presence on any of those platforms, it would not hurt my business. And one of the ways that I've decided to do that is leveraging live video. Why? Because live video is a way for me to quickly, rapidly share the information that I want to share, qualify the leads, organic leads that I'm looking for, have them come, foster a conversation in a specific time frame, right, in the world where I'm fostering that, which in return is causing that fear of FOMO, right? Where people want to be part of a specific thing, and it causes them to jump in. And depending on the quality of what I'm presenting to them, I will either retain their attention, two, cause them to want to learn more, then they're going to go follow me or go outside of YouTube or those platforms to learn more, which I have a free lead magnet for them, or I have a straight unapologetic product for them to go ahead and purchase or service. And now they become part of my community, which is what this is all about. And so that's how I was able to navigate from traditional media, which I still do, by the way, right? But then grew my brand here, understanding that COVID changed the way we approach things. Now we're 2020, everybody understood that, online was the way to go and do certain things. And so there I started offering certain services when people saw, oh snap, this guy right here understands branding. He knows what he's talking about. He's taking the time to establish his authority, which is very important. Live stream allows you to do that, right? You're the expert. People will know. Once you do it right, they know you're the guy, for the job, right? Based on how you're having the conversation, which is what we're doing this morning, right? And so from there, if you really present your offering correctly, you have that clear structure for your live stream, then they're going to want to continue the conversation with you or try to ask you for more help. And you're selling, you're making money. It's natural and that organic.
That's great.
What you said there about lots of clients, have you seen live video transform your clients' businesses?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, let me take a client that was on your show, Tanya Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Tanya Smith, of course. Tanya Smith, right? She was doing amazing stuff already. When we met, I looked at her branding and I suggested a couple of things. One thing led to another. She became a client. She said, you know what, JP, instead of me going around, can you and your team help us elevate our branding? Well, if you know Tanya Smith from Stream Like a Boss, go ahead and check her brand out. Go ahead and see the amazing things she's doing now. She elevated already the amazing conversation she was doing by having the proper overlays, the amazing structuring for that, and how she's bringing the guests in and all the amazing presence, the custom LUTs and all that we created for her completely transformed what she was already doing correctly. Why is this important? Well, let me put it to you like this. There was this study, without doing a promotion to a third party, there was this study of this baker that wanted to sell chocolate cake. So the study was about the packaging, right? So on one hand, they called a group of people, about 10, they offered the same, chocolate cake and say, here it is. How much would you guys pay for this? People barely said $10. The same product, they took it, they repackaged that differently, right? They work with a professional packaging company, packaged that really nice, and the brand, the information was clear. They knew who it was, gluten-free, whatever. This is for you. And then they called this the same group, right? And say, hey, this is a different product. It was the same, by the way. They say, how much would you pay for this? They were hoping if they could spend over $50 for the same product. What does that tell you? Apple mastered this thing, and I talk about that in the book. Apple mastered this thing, right? The same product, depending on how you present it to the target audience, will determine how or how much you'll pay for it.
That's great.
And that is what we did with Tanya Smith.
Yeah, her brand is stellar. I mean, everything from her shorts that she does to her live video, it is very cohesive. And JP, I mean, I'm sure that you had a lot to do with that because she does have an incredible brand. I want to do some shout outs to some of, it looks like you brought your fan club with you, JP. James Hick is here saying JP is the man, and James is coming on the show in the future, so I can't wait for that. And then friends cast ahead, Chris Stone saying, yay, JP, what's good, everybody?
What's good?
And this is what I love about the show is the people in the comments. It's amazing, and then welcoming each other. And Chris says this, he goes, JP has great vision for excellence as it relates to visual content. Many try to copy him and fail. So that is very, very true. I've seen it out there on the interwebs, people trying to do that. And you even make a point in your book saying, take inspiration from people, but don't copy them. And I think that is one of the key things as well. And then we have my good friend, Peg Fitzpatrick, saying, hey, friends, here to learn. Thank you, Peg, so much for showing up today. So JP, I wanted to ask you, as we continue this conversation about the power of live video, what are the differences between the audience engagement between live video and other content forms? You've really kind of gone into live video, why you do it. What are some of those key things that really make live video stand out?
Man, this is fantastic. All right. One example that I take a lot of times is if you live in the United States, depending on where you're watching this from, because I have some of our community members that are outside of the United States, London, UK, all of that, right? Amazing stuff. Well, in the US, we have something called the Super Bowl. Well, the Super Bowl is an event that's broadcasted live every year. Question though, why live? Why can't they just do or hold this same event pre-recorded or off of the World Wide Web? Well, here's the thing. Whenever you broadcast something live, people, which is aka your community, right, or people that feel part of what the conversation you're trying to have, whenever they're not part of that, just like your favorite TV show, which is available on demand on a lot of those streaming platforms, people still tune in on live TV or cable TV to watch it whenever they can live. Why? They know they're not the only people tuning in. They know there's a bigger community, something bigger than themselves that they want to be part of. What is that doing for you? What is that doing is allowing you, right, to share a specific information and make money off of it, creating a certain mood. Branding is all about the messaging you're sending. What type of emotion, right, are you creating in the person that's trying to purchase your product or service? Which is why if you watch the Super Bowl, there's so many companies that will pay millions of dollars to advertise their product and content live. Why? Because of the message. They know people right here are ready. They trust the brand. So here's the thing. Whenever you broadcast, people that are joining in trust you. So any information you're sharing, you're 50% in their pocket already. Why? You've already established yourself. So when I go live on demand, there are certain conversations that I'm fostering that I can only foster during that time. People, when they know that you value them so much, like right now you were calling names, you were giving shout out, you were reading comments, and you made it special where any question that anybody will ask now is different from when somebody comments later. Because now you're giving them a unique attention where they feel special. Whenever people that want to purchase your product or services feel special, feel like you are taking the time to really provide them with what they're looking for, the value of the product that you're offering skyrockets. And that's very important, right? What's the value of what we're offering to people? That is what's going to separate you from everybody else, because you can see a photographer right now. And I talk about this in my private mentorship programs where I'm like, listen, you're a photographer. You're barely charging $500 when you come to JP. Even if you were to give me $500 for free, my company's not doing it. Why? The value of what we're giving you is higher. How's that perceived? Well, it is perceived on how I present the value to you. That is where a lot of people are missing the boat, right? And I do that with my live stream. We can have this same conversation without any of this overlays on the screen. I guarantee you, Jeff, the value of this live stream will change. Actually, it will decrease. Why? The people that are watching it are enjoying themselves. It's also entertainment, right? And another aspect of this is, I always say, whenever you watch TV, there's a reason why cinematography, I'm a cinematographer, they don't just use one angle when they're, recording you. They use multiple angles. Why? Because people get bored fast. That's why you have reels, 60 seconds and all that. Why attention span is short. So they use different angles. Here, we're using overlays and we have different animation, different things on the screen. Why is this important? It's helping you stay and keep watching. And if you understand YouTube, you know that retention is more important than the number of views that you get, because that's what's going to allow you to become a YouTube partner, right? And this is value that you're giving people. The attention span is the subconscious is staying because of the different angles and the different animations, the different ways we're presenting the same content to them, and it's helping them, right, take note and know, oh, this is what's happening, right? Focus in class. My wife, she's a college teacher, and this is one thing she always say: repetition and knowing how you deliver the same information to your student matters. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it, when you say it, and how people also are consuming what you're giving them. So that's what live stream does for me, which is completely different from what on-demand pre-recorded videos do. right? There's a different audience for that. But
Right.
what I'm looking for is this data that I can only get when I go live. Remember, a live video is still a video broadcasted live, which will be available as an on-demand later. Why not tap into both worlds versus just record and release? That's the whole thing.
That is a mic drop answer to that question. That is amazing. I've got some really quick. Some people are talking. See, I love how people are saying exactly what your point is that the community is getting involved in engagement, and Peg's saying she's obsessed with watching the Olympics, which my wife is too. Oh my gosh, the volleyball is going crazy.
Yeah,
and this is what a community does. So they're asking questions, watching the show, but also having their own conversations, which I really love. And then Angela has this to say. She's watching over on Facebook. Says, great thoughts, so people feel special and see the benefit in what you're offering, and the value goes up, which is very, very true. So Paul, I know you had a question next.
Yeah, you mentioned retention. As I start doing more live videos, what am I looking for? What metrics should I be watching, and how do I improve those?
Man, we're diving into the things that I teach, and this is a great question, man. Thank you. Like I told my community, I said, listen, guys, join in because it's going to be a free masterclass, right? Because this is what we do. Well, when it comes down to retention, right, in your metrics, you're looking at how long are people staying when they're watching. And of course, if you go into your backscene, you'll be able to see that. Now, here's the thing. The question you want to ask yourself is, okay, how long are they staying 1 second? Why are they dropping off at, for example, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Now, what you want to focus on is the length of the video that you're releasing, right? The retention that you will have, or the way it works on a 5-minute video, is different from a 15-minute video or a 1-hour conversation. Same way for, let's say, a YouTube short, right? Because the amount of time that you're offering people, differs on the length of the video. Why is this important? Well, for example, on a YouTube short, right? On a YouTube short, you have 60 seconds. Right. So you need to make your point in 1 second in order for them to stay. So it's harder. But in a 60-minute video, it's 60 minutes. I have 15 minutes to make my point. So now when you're looking at that, you're looking at that percentage, ask yourself, what type of video was this? Was it a long, short, or reel? Now with that, what am I missing? And people are dropping off in the first minute, or in the first 1 to 2 seconds, or in the first 15 minutes. A lot of time I tell people, listen, regardless of the length of the video, one thing you want to do is remember that people are joining the video for a reason. Everyone is looking for a solution. Let me say that again. Everyone's looking for a solution. Let me say that again. Everyone is looking for a solution. So what solution are you offering? If you have a solution you're offering, how long is it taking you to actually talk about the type of solution you have to offer, make it clear the expectation on how long it will take them to achieve what you're promising, and third, how are you making that clear on having them, go ahead and purchase or acquire that solution that you have. Whenever you're too long-winded with those things, and at least in 2024, 25, 26, and moving forward, right? The world has changed, right? If you take too long to be clear and offer this information, people will drop off. If you're too long-winded, they'll drop off. If you do not have any social proof, well, it will be hard for you to convert. That's one thing that I've learned. I tell people all the time, it's not about the amount of views that you get or amount of comments or likes. It's about the amount of people you convert. I know creators that have way more subscribers than me today, right? But are not making as much as I'm making. They're barely converting anybody. My question to you is, what do you prefer? Money in the bank account or people liking you online?
Right.
I mean, let's be real here.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 1,000 subscribers and make $5,000 a month versus having 5,000 subscribers and making $5 a month. I don't know about you.
That's very, and on that note, JP, it always kills me when these creators say, yeah, I make 6 figures, but they're probably, a lot of them are spending 7 just to have what, they have. They're not actually making money. They're spending it on, they can, anybody can buy likes now and get bots and and game the system. But you're right. Like the authenticity and actually making money by promoting your, and you don't have to be super salesy. I mean, I've watched your videos, you promote your stuff, but it's not like, you don't feel like a used car salesman, right? It's just
Right,
organic. It's the community. So I want to dive in because your book talks about this, and you have done this yourself. Is I want to be talking about your branding your live stream, right? Like the how you've started to do that, and then we'll talk about some scaling stuff. But are you a graphic designer? I mean, you did cinematography, or did you hire that out? I'm like, because it is on point. It's your own brand and it's stellar. So talk about your branding a little bit.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yes, I designed it myself. If you remember my story, right? Mm-hmm. I'm all about talking about something that I know. So I went back and learned how to do graphic design, right? Master graphic design, and started designing before I hired my first employee, right, in 2015. Mm-hmm. I knew what I was talking about. Of course, I sources and all of that. But for my own stuff, yes, sir. Awesome. JP sat down, designed every single aspect of it. Why? Because I knew exactly what I was trying to create. And that is very important, right? We need to brand ourselves correctly. Some people will tell you, well, it's not that important. Well, if it's not that important, tell me why the #1 company in the world, Apple, spends so much money in branding. If it wasn't that important, why is it Tesla spending so much money in branding? I can keep going, right?
Right.
The top companies in the world spend millions of dollars in branding and advertising. Why? Because depending on how you brand yourself, it will either increase or decrease your net value. Mm-hmm. And something that I always talk about is you need to increase the net value of your brand. So let's talk about it. Whenever you are offering a premium presentation to people that are here to enjoy the stream, they separate you from the competition because they know you first taking the time to spend money on your own product. So I take time, and time, understanding that depending on the amount of time that you spend is also money you're spending. Time, investment, energy on making sure that the brand is stellar. What is the mission of a brand? The mission of a brand is to make it clear to the target audience what you're all about. Mm-hmm. People, whenever they watch a stream, especially anything that's more than 10 minutes, the question you want to ask yourself is, what is the one thing you want them to retain? What do you want them to remember at the end of your presentation? Well, guess what? Your brand does a better job at making sure they remember what you want them to remember versus you repeating it verbally. They might miss what you said. They might be like, oh, I have to rewind it. When it's live, they have to wait until the end. And then at the end of the live, they might have somebody call them. They might have an emergency and all that. Well, your brand is in front of their eyes. It keeps sharing that information over, whether it's an overlay, scrolling thicker, right? Whether it's a lower third animation, all of that matters. And that's why I personally use Ecamm, right? Because Ecamm allows me to bring on a level 4 to 5, which is a TV broadcast level experience to my viewers, which the other ones do not do, but that's perfectly fine. Depending on where you are in your journey, you can use a level 2, right? Web-based. You can use that. You can start there, but the goal is don't stay there. Right. Don't stay there, because a lot of people ask me, JP, how is it that you're converting so well? Well, I'm taking the time to really have a premium brand established. I cannot do that on StreamYard, but I use StreamYard. If I'm traveling sometimes, I might use that and broadcast something, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but know what each platform gives you, know the limitations, and leverage that for the best, depending on the conversation you're having. And trust me, you need to elevate. Yeah, it's just how it goes.
One of the things our friend Doc Rock says, he says, yeah, you can drive to the Grand Canyon in a Pinto, but wouldn't you rather be in a Cadillac? You know, that's what he said. So, I mean, it is all about perception and ease of use. And there always is a learning curve when you're up sampling your stuff, as you're increasing your excellence in your branding. And it's okay to start, like you had mentioned in your book, those different levels, but you're always, I think it was like get 1% better each time.
Yes.
And that's for something. And Peg, who is a branding expert as well, and she says snaps on this branding conversation. It's all up her alley. She loves her brand is on point as well. If you go to pegfitzpatrick.com, her website is on point.
Before you ask any question, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
because I've had this question come up quite a few times. People will ask you, hey man, I know how to, I know how to go on Canva. I know how to, create my own overlays. Why should I have to spend money? Great question. Great question. The fact that you own a bike, can you be part of a competition of pro racers?
Right. Right.
Oh, the answer is no. Oh, so the answer is no. Yeah, the fact that you have a camera does not make you a professional photographer at all.
That's true.
Yes, you own it. We live in a world today where we have access to all those things. But go back, take a step back, and ask yourself, man, let me look at JP's branding. Let me look at mine. He knows something I don't. Yes, I do. Why? I've been doing this for over 15 years. This is what I do for a living. This is my expertise. Trust me, even though I can paint a wall in my house, when I build my house, I paid somebody to come and do professional painting job in my house. I'm not going to mess it up just because I know how to use a brush. Come on, people. If you want elevated, premium, established brand, you're going to hire professionals to get it done for you. Now, if you do not want to do it, well, go back to college, take 2, 4, 5 years, master this thing, then offer it if you have the time. If you don't, you really want to just jump ahead, well, hire somebody to do it for you, and you keep moving and do what you do best. Run your company, offer the things that you offer, and have the amazing conversations that you're having because you are the expert in the things that you've mastered. Understanding that expertise takes time to establish. We're not expert in everything, man. And I'm definitely not. So there you go. Hopefully that answers some questions that some people might have watching this thing today.
So Gary Stockton says, tell my wife about painting skills. Like, I guess he's been roped in a couple of times. And Peg says, branding is 100% the place to spend the money. And then even your personal brand, everybody's going in the conversation, where can I buy a pair of those amazing glasses? And Peg's like, I love those glasses too. So yeah, there you go. That's that. No one ever says that. Hey, where can I get that beard?
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. If you notice, Jeff, I took it off. I had these black ones when I joined, right? And I'm like, you know what? I remember I have white here. Let me go ahead and put the white and black intentional. And I'll let Jeff know offline. So we're not promoting them on the other live stream, but definitely really affordable stuff, high quality, amazing stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Peg says, I do a ton of my own branding, but she paid for her logo. So yeah, you can, some of the stuff, if you have the talent, and Peg does, to create your own designs and stuff, that's great. But you also know your limitations. A logo is a whole other beast that we could have an entire show on there. We had Marshall Fox on the show, who's an amazing designer, and he does really great logos.
Oh yeah.
And so so that's really cool. Like, you know what you can do, and then you pay for what you don't want to do or you don't have expertise in. So Paul, did you have any questions?
I love what you said about photography and cameras. As a photographer, that's so that resonates with me, because so many people nowadays are doing photography, and so I love it. But so if I'm a business and I'm trying to integrate this into integrate more live video into my business, so what strategies do you have to help integrate this into my business plan or my broader business goals? How do I get this going?
Man, all right. Y'all ready for this? Okay, let's go. First thing, right? And I tell every new entrepreneur, first thing, understand that live stream in itself is a product that you're offering. A lot of people get surprised by this. I'm like, listen, it is a product. It is an experience, then it is a product. Because it is a product, you have to approach it differently. So if you have a company, understand that live stream will become one of the products that you are offering as a company owner. So as one of the products that I'm offering to people, how am I making sure that my offering makes sense to the target audience, right? Because they're going to have to purchase, buy in. Why does that buy in? Is people joining your community. The ultimate focus whenever you're doing live stream is to build a community. If you do not have that as a focus, you're missing the goal. Why? Because your community will be your self-ambassadors that will push the edge of what you have doing live stream to places you never even imagined it will go. And that is what's going to help you have those organic leads and convert as many people as possible. So, question, do you intend creating a community of people that will love the product and service that you have to offer? If not, this is the time you have to think about the community before you even start going live. Second, how do you want people to purchase it? What do you mean, JP? How? Well, how many times you want to go live in a month, in a week? All of that matters, right? What day of the week? Do your homework, because depending on the type of product you have to offer, doing that on a Saturday morning might not be the right time for folks, right? Now, let's continue here. After you started doing that, whenever you're going live, how long are your live stream and what type of structure do you have? Is it a head talk where you have people do a Q&A? Is it having a guest holding this type of conversations like we're having right now on this podcast? Or is it something where you want to do how to? There are different types of videos you can release. You need to choose the one that aligns the best with the type of conversations you want to offer them. Okay? And after you've done that, now you've established that you already have a product and a way to redirect the conversation, understanding that whenever you go live, that's when you start having the conversation, not where you end. So you want to make sure that you reiterate that, you make that clear to people when joining in. Hey, and if you want to continue this conversation or you won't have any questions or you want to join the private community, this is where you go, right? And also remember, unless you can establish your authority and yourself as the expert and have social proof, it will be very hard for you to sell your live stream as a product and then upsell people based on the product and services you want them to join. It will be very hard. So make sure that you have those things created first. And like I always say, you always want to make sure you have the blueprint before you start building the house. A lot of people will start building the house and they want to go back and look for a blueprint. It doesn't work like that, right? Make sure you have the blueprint. You know what you're building. I can have a 3-bedroom house. It will be different from your 3-bedroom house. I want my walls a certain colors. I want different things a different way. Well, you got to make sure what you want. Make sure you have that blueprint and build up on that, right? Sometimes you may end up 5 years and having a pool in your backyard, but you knew you wanted a pool. My live stream, I knew I wanted to have a conference, right? Creators Unleashed. Some folks were surprised. Well, my conference, every single time we did a conference, all the seats were sold. But I had that in my blueprint before I even started. And when I started, every single thing I was doing was leading up to something special. So do you even have a strategy? Do you have a blueprint for the next 2, 3, 5 years in order to grow your brand, or you're just swinging it as you go? If you're swinging it well, you want to work with somebody that can help you establish some good stuff so you can make money.
Paul, in his blueprint, has a whole room just for his Star Wars collectibles. So it's very, very different than mine.
I love it, man.
So Chris Stone asked a great question here over on YouTube. He goes, can you talk about audio branding as well? I know that you do the same as me, is there's a video podcast, but also there's audio for people who just like to consume the audio. So talk about audio branding and the importance of that, if you would, JP.
Yes, amazing stuff. And in this world that we're living in today, right, we understand that there are different mediums that you can use in order to share or broadcast your message. One is video, another one is audio. So for audio, we're talking about strictly audio podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that, you name it, all those platforms. What you want to do is make sure you're also fostering the same conversation there, but you tweak it a little bit. What I personally do for my brand is I extract, right? The audio, look at that. I extract the audio of the podcast. Then we have a different intro, a different outro for the audio that was already pre-produced. And then we edit it a different way, keeping in mind that this is the audio only community, right? And so you want to produce that and you want to make sure you distribute that to the audio streaming community so that you can expand the footprint of your brand everywhere online. And that will actually help you out. Now, one thing that is amazing is, even though places like Spotify are audio, you can upload your video. My podcast became number 5 last year in business podcasts worldwide from Spotify. Why? Because I was uploading the video and my podcast was categorized among business podcasts, which that gave us a lot of streams, a lot of traffic to our businesses, right? And understanding that when it comes down to audio podcasts, you have to brand it correctly. I'm talking audio branding, working with a audio engineer, working with a producer, somebody that knows what to do and that can help edit the audio portion where it's dynamic the same way you're thinking. Because remember, when it's audio, you cannot add visual overlays to an audio. So now, how are you editing it? How dynamic is it, right? And if you listen to some of my audio podcasts, you will see that I come in very strong at the beginning. I might put a clip of something a guest said that's very, very enticing at the beginning. Then it goes into my intro. Then I come back, I may ask a question, and then we roll into the actual podcast. Then it stops at a ad break or something, talking about something very dynamic, and I bring it back. Why? Because whenever you're in somebody's ear, that is a very intimate experience.
I totally agree.
Remember that and work on those skills. Don't just copy paste your video and just send it over, man. People know this was just a video that was put in audio. They're not going to like it. It's like, again, going back to the same thing. You're not taking the time to make them feel valued, the audience. When they know that, trust me, they're not going to want to continue the conversation with you.
I started doing that for this show. If you go listen to the audio version of it, doing what that's called that cold open, where you go grab that hook from something that they've really, really said, put that at the beginning and do the same thing. And I've noticed that has increased my downloads and all that stuff. So even constantly tweaking, once again, we're going back to that, become 1% better each time. I think that is really, really important. So Paul, do you have a question coming up for JP?
I'm really curious. Constantly changing. Are you seeing some things we should jump on now?
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. I lost you for 1 second.
Sorry. Are you seeing any emerging trends in social media right now?
Social media?
With live video.
Yes, man. Yes, man. One thing that is working a lot right now when it comes to live video is going live tall format on YouTube. I'm telling you, YouTube Shorts, if you really want to bring in a lot more new viewers, a lot more traffic for people to discover, one thing that I do when I go live, I'll go live traditional landscape like we're doing right now.
Right.
But I'll also broadcast the same thing, and I show a tutorial how you can simulcast different format at the same time on my YouTube. So yes, you can have two live feed, the same one going out to YouTube at the same time. So I'll broadcast the landscape traditionally, and then I'll rebroadcast using my laptop or different device, sending the tall feed to YouTube. Now the tall feed is showing in the YouTube Shorts. Now YouTube Shorts is why YouTube themselves are pushing the most. So many people would jump on it, click curious and say, who's this? Why? Because now you have a live stream showing in the YouTube Shorts. And so people click on it and then they're like, oh, what is this? Now you have new people that will be discovering you every single time you go live. And that's going to help you grow, right? Your YouTube channel and your YouTube presence that you have. And that is something that's been working for me and for so many other people, which is fantastic. So I want to encourage you to do that. Go ahead and broadcast if you can to stream out and leverage a YouTube tall, which is a YouTube short. Now, after my live stream is over, I will simply delete the YouTube short version of it and keep the landscape. I'm just leveraging it to, track and bring more people to discover my channel. That's the purpose of YouTube short. Leveraging that for people to discover you, then using the long form traditional landscape format to retain people on your YouTube channel. And that is working fantastic, right? And now on the flip side, now you create several reels of that same podcast that you release, right? And then you just go and distribute that across every social media platform. Do not share the URL for your YouTube channel in the description of the video. Simply add it at the end of the actual video. Tell them where they can go and watch it. And that is going to help you grow a whole lot, family.
Wow. So that is gold, because I had not thought about that. I know some people are doing it with Instagram, and I think your tutorial is actually on for Instagram, if I remember right, on your YouTube there, JP. But that now I have what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to be messing around with that. What are the things? So that's a great strategy for social. Do you have any more like branding strategies to make your live stream stand out from the competition? Because a lot of people are just going live. Some people are just with their phone. But I believe that you have made your mark is because of your branding has made you stand out. So are there other things that people can easily up level to make them stand out from the competition?
Yes, of course. And please stay with me. I know in the comment section we have some pros that already have this, but some people, listen, there are different levels of live stream. Understand that today people are not as patient as they used to be when it comes down to the quality of your content, the quality of your presentation, and the quality of your delivery. Understand it is always recommended to not use your window as the source of lighting, right? Lighting is very important in cinematography. The type of light will determine the type of audience you have because you're creating a unique mood. If you want that to be a very moody, like, a scary show, well, okay, change the lighting for that. But right. If that's not the case, be careful the type of light you're using. So shut the windows, close it. I actually have it blacked out in my studio here, and use a dedicated light source. Understand that using something called a ring light is not recommended because that's made for makeup, right? It's not a videography lighting. Right. Make sure you're purchasing a videography light, not a ring light. And also understand that depending on the type of light, you need to add diffusion to that. If not, it's going to be too harsh on your face. Add diffusion, add the right video light, okay? Go to my YouTube channel if you don't know what I'm talking about. Learn what a true video light is and have the proper lighting. If you wear glasses, make sure that you have at least 2 or more light. I have 4. All right. Why? Because you're going to have bags underneath your eye. Position your light above, slightly above, and go down towards your face. That's very important. Make sure you do that. Make sure you have an external microphone. Okay. That external microphone is going to help you if you want to do what we just talked about, extract the audio and produce and distribute that on other platforms. People will enjoy that better versus your onboarding webcam, onboarding microphone on your laptop and stuff like that. You need to spend that money and do that. Now, when it comes down to your branding, make sure that you go online and look at your favorite cable TV show. If you watch sports, all of that, go take a look at how they're branding it. I'm just giving you the blueprint right now. That's how I inspire myself sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. I'll go and watch, a basketball show or football game or something on TV or a talk show. Look at how they're branding it. Whenever I approach my branding and my designing, I always bring it from a TV broadcast approach versus a podcast approach. And whenever you do that, you will always up level because the way they do it, they paid somebody millions of dollars to help them achieve that. Well, just inspire yourself. Don't copy. Look at the structure. Look at how they're doing it when it comes out to different segments of their podcast. What are they doing? What are they putting on the screen? Are they announcing something coming up next? Right? All of that matters. And create that for yourself as well. Think of what you can do to up level the conversation and to help people retain the information you're giving them. That is branding, family. And you need help. Get the help you need in order to get this done. Now, finally, I'm going to tell you this. You got to own your content. And one of the ways that I own it is I have my own Roku TV application. Mm-hmm. I use a solution called RTN Streams, rtnstreams.com. You don't have to code. You don't have to do anything. If you know how to upload a video to YouTube, go to rtnstreams.com. Upload, get an account. It's a paid CDN account. But that's going to allow you to have a Roku TV application. Why? Because now you're on TV. You've graduated from being a podcaster to being a TV host. So now you have a TV broadcast. That changes things whenever you want to work with brands or have brand deals because you're letting them know you have a TV broadcast. Separate yourself from the competition. Most people are not on television. Now you will be on television and you will charge more for the brand deal, which I do. And now you can guarantee a lifetime on your shelf. You can't do that if you're just on YouTube, Facebook, social media, Instagram. They can delete it anytime, but I can promise what? I own my Roku TV application. I can tell them it will be there for 10 years. As long as I maintain my CDN account, it will be there. Now you don't have to talk about your numbers. That is gold, family. Make sure you implement this in your business. I guarantee you, your brand is going to increase in value.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Thank you for dropping all these bombs. You mentioned different levels of live stream. And once again, I want to do a big shout out to our sponsors, Ecamm. JP mentioned that he uses Ecamm. We use it here. Ecamm.com/Jeff lets you save 15% on your first purchase. And you know what I did when I started setting up the show? And mine's a very basic show. It's nothing like JP's, but it worked for me. This is actually, I did exactly what JP said. I went to I went to like Fox, I went to CNN, I went to all the news channels and looked how they were doing multiple guests. And I actually took screenshots and built it from there. Because I could figure out the proportion. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. So you just do that, and then you see what you like. You're like, I could do that, and I can change out the background, and I can do whatever I want. But that was how I structured the show graphics, is I saw what they were doing on those big news channels, and I said, okay, because this was a news show. And anyway, so that's great stuff, JP, for that. One of the I want to do this. We only got a few more minutes left, but I want to talk about how to scale with live video. You've given, I mean, this whole show's been around that, and you've given some great tips on it. But Paul has done the same thing. He started streaming powwows. How many years ago was that, Paul?
2004.
2004, and he has built a business. Like, that's his business. He says he told us before the show started, he's got 4 different teams out there streaming powwows this weekend. So he has scaled his business. So what are some ways and strategies businesses can adopt to effectively integrate live video into some of their broader marketing plans, JP?
Man, great question. This is something that I've implemented myself, and I implement this for our clients. And one thing you want to do, remember when I say you want to look at it as a product? Well, event. Remember we talked about Super Bowl is an event. What does the Super Bowl do before the Super Bowl even start? The Super Bowl makes sure that they have commercials. They're promoting the event. They have tickets for you to purchase, all of those things. So I want to encourage you. Don't just go live. 1, schedule your live stream. Jeff did it. Why? That helps people get ready to know you have an event at a specific time. People are busy. They have live. They have other things to do. Give them the opportunity to join you, right? So schedule that. Typically, you want to schedule that at least 3 days prior, okay? And you want to share that to your community members, your friends, your family members, people in your private circle. That is going to allow you to share the word and market that. Now, here's another tip for you. Even better, have a landing page on your website. And whenever you promote, send people there and have a free opt-in for them to tap into the same conversation that you're going to have on YouTube Live. So now you're growing your email base. Why is that important? Community. You'll be able to upsell those people. If they want to stay with you, I'm telling you, it's free. If they really want to be part of that conversation, they're looking for that free masterclass or conversation that you're trying to have, they will sign up. Now you're growing your email list. You're growing potential clients and customers, future customers. And now you'll be able to sell them things later. That's going to help you grow your business, because this is a business, right? And you don't have to change anything. All you're doing is just promoting a dedicated link. But this is also helping you in your branding. Why? It's easy for somebody to remember jphightek.com/live than remember a YouTube URL. I can't memorize a YouTube URL for a scheduled live stream.
Right. Yeah.
Right? But remember, repetition is key, and what people remember is everything. Because as they leave, they'll be like, hey, there's this guy called JP. He was live. Yeah, just go to, I believe, jphightek.com, I think, /live. Very easy, right? If they don't remember all of that, at least they'll remember jphightek.com. When they go there, there's a link, a button, click to watch our latest live stream. Bam. Now you're redirecting the traffic to you. Why? Because you control the experience. If you go to the mall, you're looking for a t-shirt. There's so many stores that sell the same t-shirt. Why send people to the mall when you can send them to your own store where you're the only person selling? And guess what? They're going to end up buying from you regardless, because you control the experience. That is what it's all about. When you do that, you will grow and scale your business, understanding that this is a business. And in order to scale, you have to establish it as a business, right? Jeff will tell you there was something he signed when he was looking into becoming a guest on my podcast. Understand, folks, this is a business, and you're going to make money. You're going to have partners and brands. They will sign contract with you. Are you even legally registered? Oh, you're not? Well, you may want to rethink those things. It is a business.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop right there. There's so much into this, but yeah.
Yeah. So I want to have this last question, because we're running out of time. And JP, thank you for your time today. But you have dropped so many great knowledge bombs on this. But and I want to get, because both of you guys have scaled your brand, and I'm really interested in how small businesses leverage their live video to compete with some larger established brands. So, Paul, I want to know how you did it really quickly, and then I'll go to JP to kind of wrap things up because he wrote about a lot of this in his book. But I know you have done the same thing, Paul, with powwows.com. So talk about as you grew the brand deals you were able to maybe get with your video.
He mentioned this earlier, but I think one of the really important things with live video is building that community experience. One of our very first live stream, we the powwow broke for a few hours, and I streamed them setting up chairs for 3 hours. And wow. But people were engaged because we had this community aspect. We had the chat, and if you foster that community, then you can scale it. You can compete against the people, and it's all about the people that are watching and that experience you provide them, not just the video.
Yeah. So JP, how would you tell small businesses the best way they can compete? Because I mean, a lot of times they feel like, man, I'm never going to be like that influencer, or I'm never going to be Nike. I'm never going to be, the Redbubble t-shirts, like you mentioned the t-shirts before. How can small businesses use live video to maybe even the playing field a little bit?
Oh, they actually can. Oh boy, they can. And I'm gonna tell you right now, one mistake that a lot of small businesses do is they lack consistency. I know you heard this before, but I'm gonna reiterate here. You have to be consistent for a certain amount of time. Let's take YouTube, for example. Did you know that in order for YouTube to trust a brand new channel, in order for them to start recommending your channel, your videos to other people looking for similar things, you have to consistently release content about the same similar topic for at least 6 months? And that is the algorithm that's doing that. 6 months. So listen, don't start something that you cannot sustain. All right. That's why I said, if you can do it once a week, do it once a week. Once a month, do it once a month. But you've got to be consistent, because people will not follow if you're inconsistent. That's very important, right? And you got to make sure you are solution driven. So ask yourself, as a small business owner, right? What are most of the questions that I, as a consumer, because you got to be your first consumer, your first client is you, right? What are the first questions that I really want to ask myself? And make sure that most of all of your videos that you're releasing is solution based, because most people go on YouTube nowadays looking for a solution on how to do stuff, how to change oil, how to fix this, how to buy this, how to, how. Make sure you do that. Those are one of the easiest and scalable videos you can release, especially when you do it live. People want to learn from you because you're giving knowledge. And whenever you become one of the go-to database, giving people the solution on how to do stuff, it does not matter how large a competitor is, you're offering most of the solution. Guess where they're going to go? To you.
Right.
Yeah. And that's going to help you scale so fast. And after that, now you can start doing other stuff. But when you're starting solution, 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 and I'm telling you, people will gravitate to you, and you'll be mind blown because they want to learn and they have that problem. And that's how you even grow your regular business, right? You're offering a solution to a problem. And by offering it, they're like, hey, man, he really knows his stuff. I've been trying to find a solution to this problem for the longest. He's talking about it. Let me learn how to do it. And research in your industry, the problem people are having, and take that and make videos on it as a solution. I'm telling you, you're going to grow fast. You'll be mind blown.
Oh, man, this has been such good stuff. Thank you so much, JP, for all this knowledge today. People have, and so Eden Lewis here, she goes, consistency is my top challenge. Eden was a guest a couple of weeks ago, so if you haven't caught her episode, make sure you go watch or listen to that. She does a great job. And Chocolate Quilt says, this may be the most valuable video of 2024. So thank you so much for that. That is awesome. So much value today. But JP, before we break away, I want to give you a chance to tell people where to find you, all the stuff that is your community. So the floor is yours.
Hey, man, first thing first, thank you so much for having me on this show. Really enjoyed myself and the time that we spent together. Again, family, I love networking. I would say networking is the new currency. So let's network, let's connect. Go to my website. If you're watching it, you can see it on the screen, jphightek.com. If you listen to the podcast, that's jphightek.com. That's my website. Let's connect. Let's grow together. But the same handle, JP Hightek across every social media platform. Let's connect. Let's grow together, and come and join my community, right? If you're a content creator, you're looking to leverage content creation or technology to grow your business, this is what I talk about mostly on my community. Come, let's join. Let's grow together, and that is contentcreatorsuniversity.com. contentcreatorsuniversity.com. Can't wait to connect with you, and hopefully I've given you an opportunity to be 1% better today.
Awesome. I'd even go as high as 10%. But Paul Gowder, this is a little secret thing. Paul and I actually run a paid mastermind, and so we are actually looking to increase that and do another group because we've had so much success for the one we're doing. So if you are interested in that, Paul is an email whiz. I just show up. And so if you're interested in that, just shoot me a DM or one of my emails. Just let me know. One of the things, Paul, I want to give you a chance to tell, what you got going on and all your stuff.
Yeah. If you're, like you said, I got 4 live streams going on this weekend. So if you're interested in Native American culture, powwows.com, we'd love to see you over there. But yeah, I'd love to also help you level up your business, especially with building community through email marketing. You can find out more over at paulgowder.com.
And we talked a lot about Ecamm today. They are the sponsors of the show. Thank you so much for them for letting us do this. They help us keep the lights on. And by the way, they have their camp, Ecamm Curator Camp, coming up in October. Unfortunately, they're sold out, but guess what? I have a contest going on right now for your chance to win a ticket to Creator Camp. For your chance to win a ticket to Creator Camp, go to jeffc.com/win. And actually, I'm going to give you guys a secret code for even more entries. You can enter this code for this week, BEI4H8. Will give you a bunch of entries for the drawing that we're going to do next month. So with that, folks, thank you so much for watching and all your great comments. Peg, Eden, Chocolate, Gary, all the people who are here today. You guys are awesome. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.